Views and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
The role of a woman in the society is to submit. Birth control are the pills of the devil. Education is so fundamental to the development of a people. Hang murderers. Simple as that. What am I voting for? Voting will change nothing.
Tout le monde haïtien, como ye. God save the Queen.
Lord Jesus, I bring before you today my people, the people of the mud in Marsh Harbor, Abaco. They suffered a major tragedy when arsons caught the plantation in which they live afire. And there are reports of over 150 people and our homes that have been destroyed. Papa moi, edi haïtien peb moi yo, parce que yon garçon dit, la nuit passée ya, yon moun, kriete di fwe boule kay yo. So it's a sad day in Marsh Harbor. My God, those who are responsible for the fire, these are dangerous people. And if they do not be careful, they are going to cause civil unrest in this country. But praise the Lord, as long as I'm alive, I shall continue to make sure that there is peace between my people, the Haitian people, and the Bahamian people. So that is a sad story that has taken place in the country over the last couple of hours. And then yesterday, there were reports that the city dump was on fire. But thank God, I work a taxi from Bahama, and I don't understand that fire. All of the taxi drivers gathered in the taxi stand. We couldn't smell any smoke. Bahama was not affected by the fire. But I got a lot of things to talk about Bahama because the former Prime Minister, Hubert Alexander Ingram, told me that Bahama do have bathrooms for the taxi drivers them. And guess what? I'll tell you if Mr. Ingram was correct. So that is one of the things on my mind. And then, of course, all day, a lying attorney general is on my mind. Carl Bettel must resign. He's anti-man, and he has not spoken truth. So we are going to pursue Carl Bettel, and we're going to look at where he's speaking. We're understanding that tomorrow night he and other Negroes will gather to discuss marital rape. To the Haitian people, ça ça y est en anglais, cas de Jacques. To the Haitian people, what is cas de Jacques in Haitian Creole? Parce que Attorney General, il dit c'est possible pour nous, pour créer marriage cas de Jacques. Can we have cas de Jacques in marriage? It's marital rape. Ça y est, cas de Jacques. Parce que c'est pas possible pour moi, pour cas de Jacques, madame moi. It's not possible for me to rape my wife. We're gonna talk Kade Jacques today. Kade Jacques. This is Freedom March. I'll be right back after the break.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm a Justice of the Peace here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And of course, I'm a member of the local Catholic Christian community. I welcome each and every one of you who has joined me. Well, today is the 29th of January 2018. On the 3rd, no, it was in April of 1983 that I met a mixed race Negro young student. His name is Dario Torelli. He was a student at R.M. Bailey Senior High School. Well, in April of 1983, the students at C.C. Sweeting, led by Dennis Dame, had begun a student revolution. Dennis Dames marched hundreds of students out of C.C. Sweeting on the 3rd of February 1983. By April of 1983, the then Minister of Education, if I'm correct, was the Honorable Darrell Roll. Darrell Roll and the PLP were in power. They failed to listen to the demands of the students immediately, and the students were compelled once again to take to the street and to call on other high schools to join them in this civil unrest. Well, R.M. Bailey students responded, and among those student activists is Dario Torelli. He is the son of an Italian and a Negro mother. Well, today is Dario Torelli's birthday, and I want him to always remember that I shall never forget when he responded to the call of Dennis Dames and hundreds of C.C. Sweeting students. And he, along with other R.M. Bailey activists, took to the street and marched on Pinling and the PLP simultaneously as C.C. Sweeting students marched. Dario, today is your birthday, and I continue to live up to my pledge. I promised the students of C.C. Sweeting and those students from R.M. Bailey who participated that as long as I live, I shall never forget their involvement. And to the extent that I'm able to provide any political, social, and or spiritual and economic assistance, I shall continue to do so until I die. So Dario, happy birthday. I can't believe you are 52, because in 1983, I think you were 16 or 17. I don't know. But Dario, have a happy birthday. And guess what? Because you're such a good man, I wish you are successful in getting the government once again to support Carnival. Dario, tomorrow, if I live, I shall buy you a cup of coffee and the sandwich of your choice tomorrow. I had to give that to Dario. Well, today, I had to go into the Supreme Court probate registry. You know how these things are. I have relatives, they have issues, and they call upon me from time to time to assist them. Well, I have a senior friend of mine who was tagging with me today, and I said to him, come tag with me. Let's go into the probate registry of the courts. And he seems to have been excited. But at times, when he listened to me, I am certain that he was kind of disturbed. And I turned to him and I said, listen, do not be disturbed, for I speak authoritatively when I tell you that the Supreme Court registry is in a mess. I speak authoritatively when I tell you that the government, the Attorney General Carl Bettel, and the FNM, they were part of the problem, and then the PLP inherited it, and then they passed it on to the FNM, and the FNM passed it on to the PLP. And I said to him, listen to me, if we were to go over to the Victoria grounds, you know where the old Victoria Hotel is located? And do you know where the magistrate courts are? Well, that's where they have the probate records scattered all over the place in a dusty, leaky area. And I told him, and he doesn't believe me. I said, listen, this is one major conspiracy. And he is shocked. I said, listen to me. I am a Negro, and I know the Negro's secret. It is a conspiracy to just damage valuable files. He's still thinking about it. And then when we were finished, and I had discovered that file that I was in search of, we decided we'll go down Bay Street. And he had another shock. He could not believe that practically every citizen, particularly the woman Dem, was so excited to see me as they hugged me and greeted me and proclaimed that I am the leader of the woman Dem. And as women hugged me, I said to them, do you accept my leadership? And women told me that they do. And I said, if you accept my leadership, I want you to reject gender equality, and I want you to reject rape and marriage. And one woman said to me, she didn't know there was so much sissy man in Nassau. I said, woman, what are you talking about? She said, I don't understand. They must don't like woman, but rape and marriage. I said, I believe they like woman, but they're a bunch of weak-kneed, apologetic Negro. And then she got a shock when I said, and some of them are undercover bastard children. And she said, Mr. Moncur, what are you talking about? I said, listen, that is very complex. I do not have time, and I have to go to the bank. But in the course of the weeks and months, I shall tell you about the bastard mentality. I shall tell her, and so forth. I thought I should just say that to you. But it is a disgrace that Carl Bettel, who's the minister responsible for legal affairs, will not find the financial resources and the manpower to go into the Victoria Old Courtroom where hundreds of Supreme Court files in the probate registry is scattered all over the place. But I'm suspicious over why it has consistently happened. But listen to me, ain't nothing to these Negroes who are running the country. Because when you cannot find files that are important for the rule of law, listen, gangsterism is at foot. And that is what is going on. So ain't nothing to Carl Bettel, okay? Nothing to him. And that is why today I'm going to up the reward. It was $1,000. Take it from me. If I tell you that the $1,500 is here, you take it from me. The $1,500 is here. Anybody who can produce evidence to show that Attorney General Carl Bettel is a twin will get $1,500 because we are suspicious that Carl is a twin. And over the weeks and months, I shall be speaking to you in parable because, as you are aware, Carl and those are pursuing an evil agenda to put rape in marriage. And in order for us to discuss this objectively, it must become nasty. We have to talk about people. We have to talk about human conception. We have to talk about people's mother. We have to talk about people's father. We have to talk about Ama. We have to talk about Apa. Because rape is about sex. And it's a serious road. And this argument will not make sense unless we call name. And by calling name, it will cause shame. And so I'm going to be talking more about marital rape because I saw this morning in the newspaper an article in which Carl Bettel, the Attorney General, who went to Switzerland, please do not forget this, he went to Switzerland, Geneva, and he told a bold-faced lie. And now he has mobilized those people who are metrosexual. What is metrosexual? I'll give you an example. I told it to you before. Metrosexual are straight people leaning gay. All right? And so he has moved the boat now to come up with a means by which he's now going to talk about marital rape. And Carl better be careful because this is going to become nasty. The public will not understand until I go off in tongues all day this morning. Even though I was in the Supreme Court registry, as I walk on the ground, my mind escaped. It went into the clouds and I began to see things, all kind of things. I don't want to say those things. The society is so small. It is so disgraceful. But in order for us to understand this debate, we have to talk about people. You have to call names. And it is not a kind thing to do because we all know one another. And from time to time, we have intermingled. So I'm going to look at who are some of the characters who is participating in this marital debate. So what I've done is I've gone to the Tribune, all right, to see what the Tribune is reporting. And the Tribune says, Bettel to speak on marital rape laws. It is written by the Negro journalist Eva Turnquest. Who is Eva Turnquest? Eva Turnquest is the Negro niece of the Negro Deputy Prime Minister K. Peter Turnquest. It's important to know these family connections. And it's only when you know this connection, you're able to see the maneuvers taking place. So we look at what the Tribune is reporting. It says that the Attorney General, Carl Bettel, is slated to expound on the issue of marital rape at an upcoming panel discussion by the Bahamas Press Club. Now remember who the Bahama Press Club is. The Bahama Press Club is the Negro man by the name of Ace Campbell. Ace Newbold, not Campbell, Ace Newbold. Ace Newbold is the Negro president who is now the press secretary of the Prime Minister of the Bahamas. So Ace and them has gotten together to give Carl a forum because Carl has already told a lie to them decent white people in Geneva, Switzerland, that he has held a meeting with civil society. Now remember what I've said. Civil society is not only civic group. Civil society is every citizen in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. So now Carl has gotten together a number of persons who's going to talk. One of them is a Seventh-day Adventist minister by the name of Pastor Barrington Brennan. Now you don't know Barrington Brennan. I first got to know Barrington Brennan when an old resident of Black Village who had moved out of the area but left their family living in Black Village. Who are their family? It is the Evans family. Constant Evans, still living there. Marinette Evans, right? These people were the friends of my family, and particularly my mother. So as a child, my mom would leave me with them. And if she left me with them, Constant, Marinette, Cornelius, Clara, they cooked, they fed me, they took care of me and my children, right there in Black Village. Many of them are living. And one day, a member of Barrington Church, Clara Simmons, her husband died. And when her husband died, she remembered that in Black Village was a young man that they helped to raise. And in her tears, she told Barrington, Brennan, I have to send for Rodney Monker, for my husband is dead. Barrington, who is half saved, thought it was political, and he tried to convince her not to send for me, as the woman could not understand, and she wept. And finally, when she got free of Barrington Brennan, she called me. She said, my husband is dead. You hear me? I say, Bunk dead? I said, Elijah dead? Elijah Simmons. And I quickly jump in the little car and I head into Angliston where they had moved. And instead of us talking about the death of her husband, she said to me, what have you done to Pastor Barrington Brennan? He has done everything to stop me from calling for you. I said, I even don't know who that is. I said, I know him. I said, but don't worry about him. What is it that you want me to do? And she said, listen, you know my husband, you know my family. I need you to speak. And I told her, listen, I shall come to the funeral and I shall speak. And when I ascended the podium, I veiled Pastor Barrington backside. I told him in a very good way that he need Jesus. You hear me? I even didn't tell you what the taxi driver had to say about Barrington. Poor taxi driver. They was looking for color. He got this beautiful black daughter. And Barrington has this half-white son. And when the cab driver saw Barrington's son, he said, yeah, he want marriage. But when Barrington, the same Pastor Barrington from the Seventh Day Adventist Church, saw his black daughter, Barrington almost had a heart attack. And the poor taxi driver, he ran to me with tears in his eye, and I said, listen, don't mind Barrington. Barrington ain't safe. This is the man who is going to talk about marital rape. And take it from me, that's one Seventh Day Adventist pastor. I can't wait to curse again. All right? We know his position. He, like a bunch of other citizens, they believe that you can rape your wife. So Barrington is not safe. That's one Adventist. You take it from me, there's nothing to him. And I've been associated with the Adventist Church from 1974 when my auntie and her children took me to church. This is Freedom March. I'm cursing them out today with their no good self. I'll be right back after the break.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. Comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. When I took the adjournment, I was telling you how the Attorney General, Carl Bettel, is scheduled to speak at some forum on marital rape. Many of the people who will be speaking are already known to be anti-black Bahamian man. I know them. They think I don't, but I do. I told you earlier about my encounter with Barrington, who happens to be a light-skinned Negro man. I told you. And then, of course, there is the Jamaican woman, Donna Nichols. She's married to a Bahamian. She works with the Crisis Center. the Crisis Center in the Bahamas is an evil empire. You hear me? It's anti-man. When they started out the organization, it was called Woman Crisis Center. After people curse out Sandra Dane and them set of people, they finally came around to their sense and they moved Woman Crisis Center and call it the Crisis Center. I want to tell you that I had a relative who was associated with the Woman Crisis Center. And I went to see her mother. And I told her, Ma, you better tell her to disassociate herself or I ain't coming back here no more. But since the last time I checked, she don't bother with them no more. All right? I told her, Ma, tell her, get from out that evil group because Sandra Dane is anti-man. They don't like man. They don't like male children. All right? They go around the world and they just disgrace us and curse us out and say nothing good. Nothing good. That's what they've done. So Carl is on it. Pastor Brennan is on it. And Donna. So the three of them. Carl is anti-man. Brennan is anti-man. And Donna is anti-man. And then there is another person from some group with responsibility for good government. Don't know who these people are. All right? And then, of course, there is Mama Waldy Ramming. He is also on this. From what I don't know too much about him other than I know he is Pat Ramming's son. I'll wait to hear what he says, and then I'll give him the theory about his daddy. Because the other day, Pat Ramming was on a radio show complaining over how fruit and vegetable vendors were moved from Prince George Dock. Pinling ordered them moved in 1978. And Pat Ramming, his daddy, never opened his mouth, never wrote an article to the newspaper, never complained. You know why? He had a good life. He was making money. And he decided that he would not say anything that would upset Pinland. Because Pinland didn't mess around. And you had to have special nuts to stand up to Pinling. And not too many people were able to stand up to Pinling. Now, look how many years later, Pat Ramming is on radio talking up nonsense as to what it should have been. And this was a man who got a good education. But he didn't open his mouth. He opened his mouth 18 years after Pinland died. Right? But he should have opened his mouth then. But he didn't. So I shall wait to see what Mama Waldy Ramming has to say. Pat Ramming's son. And depending on what he says, I'll look at Pat Ramming political history and tell him, listen, your pa got plenty to say now that Pinland is dead. And now that your pa is getting very old, but when your daddy was young, he didn't open up his mouth. When Laura Williams and one other woman, Laura is big time PLP, I used to march with them in 1978. And that same Laura is a wonderful woman. Her life has been a life of struggle. But I have watched, even under the PLP, they have not done for Laura what they could have done for Laura. Because Laura continued to be a fruit and vegetable vendor. But here we got Pat Ramming the other day on ZNS talking about all that nonsense. And when I heard him on radio, he lucky that radio belonged to the people them whose house I was visiting. Because if it was my radio, I would have taken that radio and fling it in the back of the yard. These bunch of weightless people got all kind of things to say now that Pinland is dead. But in their youth, they decide they can make money and not open their mouth. So that is what I have to say. Because I had Pat Ramming in from a couple of weeks ago when I heard him reminiscing and saying how it ought to be. And I look at that man, big time architect, big time musician. He could have written a good calypso and sing in protest. But by grab, Pat Ramming, though he has too big pair of foot, he never said anything. A bunch of political cowards, they could find their voice. Although Carl is on the wrong track, at least Carl used to say something in his youth. But this bunch of people are talking nonsense. I don't want to hear nothing from Donna Nichols. I want to hear from the man who bring Donna to the Bahamas. That's who I want to hear from. I don't want to hear from Donna. Donna has too much to say. I don't want to hear from her. Let me hear from the man who husband her. That's who I want to hear from. So, having said that, let me see who is the other person. But by and large, it is a panel comprised of those people who wants to put rape on married men. But I'm prepared to confront them because I've read a lot of divorce files. See, that's one of the good things about being a court process server and a man who do such. I read all kind of files. And that is why I am ready to debate Carl. Carl! Let's debate. Let's debate marital rape so we could see what some of them files had to say. Because this is a bunch of nonsense that is taking place in the country. And as they go into debate, I want to read something that was either written by George Simonet, Lou Adamson, or Boyd Cambridge. One of those musicians wrote this. And it goes like this. The chorus goes like this. It says, never interfere with man and wife. Never try to understand, no matter who is wrong or right. Oh, just offer sympathy. And I hope Carl would understand that. You see, I've lived this experience in 2001 when Hubert Ingram put up Carl Bettel and Mrs. Janet Bostwick to wage a battle supporting the Sweetheart Bill. And I used to run Carl and Janet because I knew how to speak to them in a tongue that they understand. And every time I walked in and I made a solemn declaration, one night Janet Bostwick literally used an obscenity, you hear me? Because she was shocked that I had the gift to speak in a spiritual tongue to her. And when I looked, the devil came out of her as she cursed. And Carl Bettel, I only had to declare, all I used to say is one magic word, and he packed up all the government law book and all the government file, and he hauled backside. Carl, do not cause me to speak in a language that you will understand, because you won't put rape on the Bahamian man, and it will not happen without a fight. It will not happen without a fight. You done lie to them white people, decent white people in Geneva, Switzerland. Good, nice white people thought that Carl, who has curly hair, for Carl to have curly hair and nice color, and he stood up representing a Negro nation and told all that lie. Now he has found these people so he could now tell the white people in Switzerland that he is now consulting. Consultation means put this to a referendum. And as leader of the woman them, I shall march the woman them and defeat this. Because this bill is an evil bill. It's an evil bill. And Carl must be turned back. And I want him to know I'm in search of his twin. Carl, I'm in search of your twin. You call it madness. But whenever I find your twin, I'll determine who is the real Carl Bettel. The good thing about it is, you know me, and I know you. So I could answer you. You're wicked, and it needs to stop. I'll leave it for a few minutes because I'm upset over what is taking place. I think it was Saturday, a boating accident took place at Clifton Pier. One young man, I think I kind of know him. Not too personal, but I used to see him at Arawak Key. I believe his name is Marco Forbes. I might be wrong, but I really think it's Marco. Marco and them work on boat. About 10 years ago, Marco and another Negro man, their boat run out of gas. I don't know if it was near Bimini or near Garland Key, but I do know the story that their boat had run out of gas. The Negro man who managed them found a man, and he asked the man to go and take gas. The man, who from time to time loves to drink lots of rum, and sometime when he drink the rum, he becomes overcome with the spirit. He becomes drunk. So they sent him on a little dinghy with plenty gas, and he set sail. This is about 10 years ago. Many Negroes have forgotten this man. But I'll tell you a story. I knew the man very well, and some nights I have nightmare over the fact that a man by the name of Dawkins went to sea to carry gas to Marco, who died in that boating accident. The next thing we know, it began to get dark, and the word went out, where is Dion? Where is he? He never returned. And finally, the little dinghy that Dion set sail to go to Marco Forbes in capsized, and shark eat Dion. And his boat was found on Love Beach about 10 years ago. I knew Dion. I knew him. And they never found Dion's body. I cursed for many days because I thought it was wrong that Dion was paid, allegedly, this $100 to go and in search of a boat. And Dion is normally drunk. Can you imagine it? And Dion's body has not been found. But the dinghy boat was found on Love Beach. It's an interesting story because when I heard the news that Marco was diving, and in the course of the wind and the weather, he apparently was crushed between the boat and must be the pier or whatever, because a Negro eyewitness told me that when they finally was able to recover him, said, man, he bled like a hog. And of course, they call the ambulance them, and the attendants them was not able to revive the fella. So it's interesting that 10 years later, Dion Dawkins, who set sail in a dinghy with lots of gas to go and rescue Marco and another Negro male, 10 years later, Marco died. Well, I hope that Marco's soul rests in peace, and wherever Dion Dawkins is, even though we never found his body. Man, that was a night. As we stood on Arawak Key, walk along the pier, and you know what kind of man I am. I said to them, don't you think we should shout out? And a friend of mine, sucked his teeth. He said, Monkey, you always doing nonsense. I said, well, I ain't listening to you. And I walked way to the back of Arawak Key, and I shouted, Dion! 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 But I never heard his voice, but they eventually found the boat. And since this is the Bahamas, to the best of my knowledge, I stand to be corrected. I'm not trying to impugn the integrity of our institutions. But to the best of my knowledge, the coroner's court did not meet. But Lord, let me be wrong. And let me hear that the coroner's court did meet, did conduct an investigation, and did a finding. Let me be wrong. So I just thought I had to tell you that when I heard about the ill fate of the event of Marco Forbes. Marco Forbes, I don't know if it's reached the newspaper yet, but based on my connection to Arawak Key and many people on Arawak Key, I'm constantly abreast about these emotional situations. All right? I call on those who run boating operation. I want you all to be more responsible and stop sending people who you know is ill prepared on these deadly missions. All right? Because it isn't a very good thing to do. Because these are people's relatives, their children, and so forth and so on. But here in the Bahamas, you could commit criminal negligence, and the authorities do not do proper investigation. And so nobody is held accountable. And nobody is called before a court of law or a coroner's court to give an explanation. But it is still my faith and prayer that one day a Negro government will understand the importance of the rule of law in every aspect of our development. I just had to tell it to you all for what it is worth. Well, I want to salute a wonderful lady by the name of Mrs. Juanita McKinney. She is formerly a Johnson. She is the sister of a boat sailing man, Eliezer Johnson, the barber. And when I went into the mall today, I was a little depressed until Juanita Johnson shouted to me, and she declared, oh, hallelujah, that she was one of the woman them. And I said to her, do you really accept my leadership as leader of the woman them? And she said she does. And I said, may I have a hug? And listen, man, it was a wonderful hug. I mean, if we could only hug each other. I felt so great. And by the time she let me go, a woman who was younger, accompanied by another Negro female and a Negro male, and they all said in unison, Monica, this school teacher is one of the woman them. And I turned around and I said to her, you're a school teacher? She said, yes. I said, are you one of the woman them? And she said that she was. And I said, woman, behold your leader, the first man to lead a woman group. And she brought me, and we took a wonderful photograph together. Her name is Answa Ambrista. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. But Sister Ambrista, I am so happy that school teachers are once again walking away from these Babylonian arguments and accepting my leadership. I'm leader of the woman them, and I call on all women to submit to the man in your life. I don't want you to be stupid now. You submit to the man. If he's keeping sweetheart, you tell him that Mr. Monica says that sweethearting is going to lead to prostate cancer and prostate problems. And he should stop it. and return to your warm and loving embrace. I want the woman them to be sensible. If the man is unfaithful, you get rid of him. But if he's not unfaithful, I want you to stay with him. And I call on every Bahamian man to be faithful to the woman them. Take home your salary on Friday and mind the children them. And love the woman. Do not abuse her. All right? Because we are fighting against an international force that has infiltrated our government. They have told our government that marijuana and other dope is good for the society. And so the best of our sons and daughters are arguing positively to open up this gateway drug to further destroy our nation. And we must resist them because the devil is in control of them and they are possessed by the devil. Don't mind, many of them will confess Jesus to you, but they are the workers of the devil. That's what's going on. We are wrestling against principalities and spiritual power in high places and in low places. That's what's going on here. They ain't no good. Just throwing up a bunch of nonsense. But we must resist them. And we must not be afraid to challenge them in these last days. These last days. By the time they finish with marriage, we won't be getting married. All right? They want to put rape in marriage. All right? What they getting in our business for? Talking nonsense but rape in marriage. You keep out my business. Because the Haitian call rape cas de Jacques. Cas de Jacques. Haïtien per moi. My people, Haitian. Est-ce que c'est possible pour moi? Pour cas de Jacques. Pour cas de Jacques. Madame moi. My Haitian people, is it possible for me to rape my wife? Cas de Jacques. And I say to them, licky do mama, licky do mama. They're nothing but a bunch of picky teeth, man, Toby. They are possessed by the devil. They ain't got nothing positive to do. All this crime taking place. Carl Bettel could find time to put rape on married man. Carl, I always thought you loved sex. I don't know. Mi pa kone, si Carl reme fe bagay. Fe bagay. Cas de Jacques. Cas de Jacques. It's the Haitian calling rape correctly. It's cas de Jacques. Cas de Jacques. C'est pas possible pour moi. Pour cas de Jacques, madame moi. It's not possible for me to rape my wife. For we are one. We are one. And her body is the temple of the Lord. We're wrestling against the devil. This is the devil. Take it from me. This is the devil. Carl is possessed. He's possessed by the devil. But Carl, if you want a dirty debate, come forward. Because in order for us to understand this argument, we have to call names. That's it. It's a bunch of unsaved people talking nonsense and trying to put crime on married men. Every married man has his own bonefish. You hear me? And every wife who has a loving husband should lovingly submit. Submit to your husband and let him mate you. Don't listen to these Negroes. Don't listen to the international people. Let's tell them keep out our business and we're going to keep out of their business. Okay? Oh, it's powerful that I have to fight against Carl and all these unsaved people. Where Donna Nichols come from? Donna Nichols! Donna Nichols! Why don't you go home and mind, baby? This is Freedom March. These people got me upset as I wrestle against them who want criminalized married men. But we're going to stop them In Jesus' name.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV stations here in Nassau, Bahamas. We are located on a road some Negroes call University Boulevard, other Negroes call Thompson Boulevard. It's on the island of New Providence, and it is spraying outside the studio. Well, praise the Lord. My spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll, is here with me. Bradley, how are you?
I'm doing great. A wonderful former senator here in the Bahamas. I'm doing just fine.
This is great.
Trying to roll with the punches, you know. There's a lot of things going on in the country. Got the dump is on fire, of course. The government has had 8 months.
What is on fire?
The land waste, the landfill.
The dump is on fire.
Yeah.
We
yeah.
don't want no water.
But it is a major problem, though. This is something the government is going to have to deal with urgently, because apparently a very major hotel in the West is experiencing a lot of smoke.
What evidence do you have, and what hotel are you referring
I'm
to?
referring to Bahama. It's
Well,
oh
I
my
worked
God.
Bahama on Saturday.
Oh, Lord, it's a
I want
lot
you
of
to hear
smoke.
me out, my spiritual advisor. I worked Bahama on Saturday and Sunday. I drove taxi. And last night, as I gather with the taxi men, I said to them, do you smell any smoke? And we sniffed the air.
No smoke?
And we smell no smoke.
Okay, but I was there today.
They smoked
Oh,
today.
man.
Okay, well, I can't.
was there today,
Okay,
yeah.
I can't give an account of the day.
Yeah, it's a
right?
lot of smoke.
But there
That's
was
why I
none
mentioned that.
yesterday.
I worked in the West, and it's
Okay.
unfortunate that...
And you were at Bahama.
Absolutely, I was on the property.
Well, then let me
Yeah.
talk to my Haitian friend who works at Bahama.
Yeah, well, that won't change
Just hold on
anything.
a second. I want to talk to my friend. Fais-moi haïtien.
In English, please, so that the
Est-ce que vous
audience...
tra- my
So that the
spirit-
audience could
I
benefit
will
from this.
translate.
You're unfair.
You translate. You are Haitian. Translate, my spiritual advisor. Fais-moi. Est-ce que vous travaillez dans Bahama? Bahama ou Judea? Est-ce que vous sentez fumé?
Yeah.
Parce que la nuit passée, les mois travaillent dans Bahama, m'a pas senti fumier. So if you were there, my Haitian brother, you send me a text and let me know, because I didn't smell none. Now, at Bahama, at exactly 6 p.m., the mosquito dam launched an attack on the parking lot. And I call on Bahama to be like Atlantis. Atlantis always flitting. All right?
Bahamian
Whatever you
jargon.
think
Flitting.
about Atlantis, they are constantly flitting the mosquito dam. And at 6 p.m., all kind of mosquito. And these are some big mosquito dam. And I am suspicious that those mosquitoes are not indigenous. It appears that they may have been imported
Yeah,
here.
but they won't be there now. The smoke probably did a good job on them. I get that, because smoke and mosquitoes don't mix.
Well, my brother, it wasn't no smoke last night and wasn't none on Saturday. You heard what I said?
I hear you.
And I didn't intend to wake taxi,
I hear ya.
but I may have to wake taxi tonight to establish it. But on Saturday, my spiritual advisor, I worked from Bahama.
Okay.
And you would recall that Sunday before last, I had breakfast with the former Prime Minister, Hubert Alexander Ingram. And I complained to Papa over the fact that taxi drivers have been alleging that Bahama did not have public restrooms and or toilet facilities
yeah.
for the cab driver. The Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram rebuked me. He said to me that was not true. And he argued that Bahama do have bathroom for the cab drivers. And listen to me, I don't know how Papa knew it. On Saturday, one of the first things that I did was to ask the cab drivers where this bathroom was. And I had a shock of my life. When I entered the area, where the bathroom was located, there were two charming, beautiful woman janitress. And they welcomed me. They said, Monica, welcome to Atlantis. So I said, who are y'all? And they said that they were one of the women there. So I said, I'm looking for the bathroom. They said, right here, Mr. Monica. And I entered the bathroom. Listen, the bathroom was like a palace. It smelled good. It had soap, nice hand towels. It was beautiful and immaculate. All right? And nobody said anything to me. And the word came out to me, this is the restroom for the cab drivers. Well, I did another test. The first one was Saturday. The second one was Sunday evening. When I arrived at the parking lot where the cabs assembled, I met my good friend, Nicola Jacks. And after half an hour of talking with the men, I said to Jacks, come, let us go into Bahama. I want to see if this bathroom is free and unencumbered, because Hubert Ingram told me that Bahama has bathroom. So Jack said he's been hearing stories, and he and I, we walked in, we went to the bathroom, and of course we met a colleague there. And no one interfered with us. And once again, the doors were open, plenty soap, good atmosphere, nice and tidy. Hubert Ingram, I didn't know how you know. Because first, the cab drivers have been complaining that Bahama was making it difficult. But Papa, listen, they do have bathroom facilities for the cab drivers, and we the cab drivers are committed to maintaining the high standard. Well, having reported that, I have been doing a survey of every tourist dam who jumps in the cab. They come in, identify myself, and I engage them. How is Bahama? And they have been giving me very positive reports. They tell me of how beautiful the resort is and how talented the staff are. Good report. Now, I've had one tourist who has made a little criticism, which I shall keep to myself. But I shall speak to somebody at Bahama with a view to tweaking it. But by and large, the people that I interviewed were residents and or citizens of the United States of America. One American told me that he had a surprise of his life when he discovered that one bottle of water cost $17. So I said to him, well, you know, it's a big hotel, and who knows, they may have a big mortgage to pay. And I suspect that you, the American tourist dam, is going to have to help with this mortgage payment. But last night, I took a couple from Bahama to the hotel dam on Paradise Island, where they are resident. And they give me an interesting story. They said to me that there was a special wine that they ordered, and the people on Paradise Island did not serve it to them. They said the same wine when they got to Bahama. The wine named like Rod something. I don't know if it's Rodrigo or Roddy something. I'm not familiar. And I didn't have my pen nearby to make the tourists them spell it. And they said they couldn't get that wine no place other than Bahama. And what they love about Bahama, if you told Bahama a particular wine, Bahama produce it. They said the other fellas on Paradise Island, when you ask them for that special wine, they bring you other kind of wine. So I look at the tourists and I said, I'm going to ask you a strange question. Are you able to tell the difference? They said, yes, we know good wine. And all Bahama got is good wine. So the other fellow, we asked him for bear. The next thing we know, he give us sand bear. So I said, oh, that's,
Sands.
what the bear name?
Sands. Sands.
Sand bear.
Not sand.
Not sand bear?
Sands.
You want me to stress the S?
Not Saab.
Not Saab.
No. Sands.
Sans. Sans bear.
Yeah.
So they asked for cool. Oh, is there a bear called cool?
I'm not
Some
familiar. Cool.
light bear and
Cause.
cause. And they were given sans.
Cause, man.
Then they
Cause
say
light.
another time they asked for a particular bed. They said they give us K-Lake. I said, well, K-Lake is gold and reportedly very good. They say, yeah, but it's strong. We wanted something light.
Collect light.
But when you get to Bahama, that's what they tell me. The American tourists them. Say, listen, every wine we ask, Bahama has it. And, you know, I felt kind of good. And if they had lasted a further 15 minutes, I would have told them how I used to curse Bahama, but I didn't get around to it. So Bahama, based on the survey I have conducted, listen, the American tourists them have given you an A+. I didn't badmouth y'all. All I did is listen to them. And they give you an A+. And as opposed to your competitor, they give you an A+. So I was kind of happy that if you ask Bahama for the Rody Sumpton wine, you can get it. But the competitor couldn't find it. So that is interesting. And the cab drivers, they seem to have been extremely happy. But there is a burning issue. And I would hope that Bahama makes sure that whoever it is negotiating with truly represents the aspiration of the cab drivers who are presently working there. Because they asked me for a little talk last night, and I gave them a little history. And I told them how they have lost the concession at Lyndon Pinling Airport that Pinling and Fox give to the cab drivers. And I said to them, I'm only talking to you all because we are all citizens. But I really think that among the cab drivers, you all are a bunch of weightless men, because the achievement that Pinling, Fox, and Clifford Darling achieved for the cab drivers at Lyndon Pinling Airport 58 years later, 59 years later, you Negroes have lost it. So I just thought I'll say that. My spiritual advisor, how was your weekend?
Weekend was pretty good, you know.
Are you still getting plenty weight?
Well, it's going to pick up now. It's the end of the month, so, you know, you get people, you know, I guess.
You need any work? Because,
Huh?
you know, I'm leader of the woman there.
Yeah.
You need
Yeah.
anything?
Well, you could always use work.
You can use work?
Yeah, man, you could always use work.
What
but I
kind of
also-
work you want?
Huh?
What you need? Tell
You know,
me.
I have a landscaping business.
Tell the
so,
people then. Listen, my spiritual advisor, the good thing about him is he's a saved man. He's not going to thief your plans.
Or overcharge you.
Or you tell them. You wouldn't overcharge them.
No, of course not, man.
And you will
try
do
to work
a
with people.
good job. Right?
The same job the Caribbean Landscape does and charge you, what, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. I can do the same job and charge you less.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's-
Well, listen.
It's one of those things you do.
I want you to help my spiritual advisor out. He's a good man. He's
I
saved.
appreciate you, Mr. Monica.
And I need to keep him, you know, working.
But I do get jobs as a result of the same Freedom March program,
This
though.
is good.
Yeah, because I
And the
remember.
people, them, they love you?
I was doing a job for the former overseer of the Church of God of Prophecy on East Street there. And apparently a young man who's an electrician, he came to the house at the same time, recognized me, and he wanted some work done, and I did the work for him on Saturday. And so he says whenever he has work, he will call me. So,
This is powerful.
you know, being here with you in Freedom March does has its privileges, eh?
And blessing.
Absolutely.
Listen,
Absolutely.
people, them. I need my spiritual advisor. He's a great man. And he seems to have the Maya's touch.
Not Myers.
What is it?
Midas.
What it is?
Midas. M-I-D-A-S.
Oh, I thought it was capital M-Y-E-R-S.
Myers.
It isn't Myers?
No, it's Midas.
It's Midas. Oh, my spiritual advisor. If only Leonard Archer
The Midas touch.
and the late Mary Knapp did not kick me out of high
And
school.
I guess that would mean anything that I touch will turn to gold.
Yes, my spiritual
Absolutely.
advisor. Yes. I need everything you touch
To turn to gold.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So that is what I need from the people, them. I want you to make sure. And the spiritual advisor does not discriminate. He does not look at the color of your politics, but
No, not
rather
at all.
at the color of your
Pocket.
money. How's that? Well, at 6 a.m., I happened to be in the island of New Providence, moving from point A to point B, when I observed a police car at the entrance to a road that leads into Pride Estate. And I wondered if that young man was still thieving, because I knew the police had caught him and had given him a second chance. And then I began to receive intelligence report that in the Carmichael Road area and Pride Estate, they told me like the DEA had landed at BFM. And I wondered, what were the Saints doing at BFM to have all them police there? But another Negro source said that this was where they were launching an operation, and that there were helicopters in the air with big bright light. And by the time morning had come, there were at least 6 Negro males between the ages of 18 and 25 into lawful custody. It was like an operation. And then you know how the island go. The Negroes then began to spread rumors. Some say $30 million was found. Some say millions of dollars and drugs were found. So that's what was going on. And I'm certain the news has given an accounting of the exercise. When I heard the word drugs, my mind ran on the F&M government and all this marijuana that they're trying to legalize in the country. But there's an operation. So now we have to recommit ourselves to be law-abiding. And we have to talk to our young people, our children, our sons, and let them know that the law is here. And as the sweet, sweet song goes, bad boy, what you gonna do when the policeman come for you? So do what my grandma used to tell me. She said, son, if you are in the house at 8 p.m. and I lock my door and you go to bed and the police come for you, they will have to take mama as well. But by God, if when the police come and I check the room and you're not there, you will have to sleep in the policeman them hand and give your own accounting, because mama don't know where you are. But if you are here, when the lock turn, they gotta lock mama. And you see Mama Han? Mama Han is hard from farming, because my maternal grandmother was a farmer. And so I listened to what she had to say. Spiritual advisor, do you have any reports on that operation that took place among my
Yeah, I mean, I
people?
saw some information circulating on social media, and I can tell you, it would appear, Mr. Moncur, that we have a lot of drugs and guns in this country.
There's a lot of drugs.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this is a very serious thing. And
Where is it coming from?
The drug enforcement unit, along with the other arms of the police force, enforcement units, they're going to have to really dig deep to try to deal with this issue, because I look at some of the characters that are being arrested by the police, and of course you can't judge a person based on the way he looks, but I can tell you it's getting scary.
Really?
I've seen some information on social media inside a vehicle. I've seen 2 AK-47s with banana clips attached to these
What is
machine
banana
guns.
clips?
A banana clip is that portion of the weapon where
Yeah.
you load the actual bullets into and you hook it into the gun itself.
Okay.
Listen, the AK-47 is an extremely dangerous weapon.
Wow.
The Russians make it, all right?
Okay.
And I believe, based on the stats, that if you know how to use it properly, you could hit a target almost a mile away.
Really?
Almost a mile away.
Wow.
And these AK-47s are here in the Bahamas, and
Yes.
they're on the streets, and they are in the hands of the wrong people. We are in trouble, Mr. Monica. We're in trouble. They're going to have to really do something about this gun smuggling because there are a lot of guns out there. I believe the police probably afraid to really tell the public as to what's going on and how a lot of these young men are riding around in vehicles with these high-powered weapons that you use for war.
Wow.
Our young men have them, Mr. Monica. That tells you how dangerous it is and how we need to be concerned about this gun smuggling, man. It's a
serious
wow,
matter.
yeah, it's dangerous.
Well, we constantly tell young people that it is against the law. Simple as that. It is against the law. You may want an AK-47. Well, you'll have to apply to the Commissioner of Police. Commish, I need an AK-47. And if you are entitled to one, and or if the Commissioner, in his good judgment, because you are able to justify why he ought to give you a permit, he will give you one. But take it from me, you will never get a permit for an AK-47. All right? These things are against the law. It is dangerous. And law and order will be maintained. It is simple as that. I have a statement. What time that clock has?
We got 3 minutes and 6
3
seconds
minutes?
before
Okay.
the break.
Well, we'll look at the statement after what then? But we have to constantly, my spiritual advisor, tell the young people them that they have to be much more law abiding.
Absolutely,
All right?
absolutely.
And if they're not law abiding, you know.
But it seems as if the underworld and the crime world has attracted a lot of our young men.
Now, when you say the underworld and the crime world, what underworld are you
I'm
referring
talking about
to?
this world of dealing with illegal weapons and drugs and so on and so forth. A lot of our young men seem to be they're getting trapped into it. Of course, I believe the number one thing behind that is greed and materialism. A lot of our young men have to fund a lot of things that they're responsible for, and they just are not going to take the route that me and you would take to try to make an honest living. The money doesn't come right away. We wait for our monies to come after working, but these young men, because of the heavy madness that is on them, they want instant cash, and when they
What
want this,
heavy manners are you referring
well,
to?
let's say, for instance, a lot of these young men in the underworld have a lot of women that they have to service, and some of these women place a lot of demands on these young men, and they just have to
Now
go
listen,
and do.
Before I was leader of the woman them,
But that is the reality
I
about
would
that.
blame the woman them. But be careful now. You're going to have to produce evidence for me.
I'm telling you, that's what it is.
Although I'm suspicious that some of you women are responsible.
Yeah, they place a lot of heavy
All right.
madness on them.
So I want you all to stop it, or you're going to lose the man them.
As a matter of fact, Mr. Monica, I would go out on a limb and I would say it's difficult to almost get into a relationship nowadays if you don't have some sort of a monetary
But
security.
you have to work.
You know.
I mean, you can't have woman and ain't working.
Yeah, I mean, I understand
Woman
that,
needs
but
soap.
the kind of demands
Listen,
that
the one
women
woman-
place on men nowadays, it's difficult. You know.
When Mama heard that I was in love, Mama sent for one of my uncles. And my uncle said, well, there's nothing wrong with you being in love,
Yeah.
but you have to work.
And that's the key word.
Yeah.
Love. But how many relationships today you think are based on love, Mr.
All
Monica?
of the relationships are
Really?
based on love. Of course.
We need to have a discussion on that.
One of these days, my spiritual
Yeah,
advisor.
well, Valentine's Day is fast approaching. We
On
need to have
Valentine's Day, I'm
I mean, I don't
speaking-
celebrate Valentine's, but we need to look at love.
Well,
you know, from a biblical perspective and
Well,
see
forget Valentine's Day.
how many relationships really based on this agape love, though.
I don't know what agape means. All I know is I love the woman.
Unconditional,
woman them love
unconditional
me.
love.
And listen, I'm having a wonderful time leading the woman them from gender equality. We're going to turn them back. Carl Battle, we're going to turn you back with your curly hair. This is Freedom March. I'll be right back after the break.
Do you have something to say to the senator? Do you have something to say to the senator? Call Freedom March at 323-7775. Toll free from anywhere in the Bahamas at 242-300-0045. Freedom March with Rodney Monker, only on ILTV. Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. Bradley Roll is my spiritual advisor. Bradley, welcome to Freedom March.
Thank you, Mr. Monka. Thank you.
There is a depressing story in the newspaper. I told you about it on Friday, in which a Negro teenager was murdered allegedly over a cell phone. I am certain that members of the public would have observed that a major sponsor of this show, Freedom March, is alive. You will note that I have an alive phone. Listen, please don't kill nobody over any phone. One day, I ran into a colleague who seems to have been kind of, how should I say it, depressed over the fact that he wanted an alive phone. And he turned to me and he said, "Man, I want an alive phone." And I looked at that Negro man, I smiled and I said, "Let me see what I can do." And I ran into one of the principals of Alive. And I said, "Listen, I have this Negro man who seems to be depressed. He wants an alive phone. Would you kindly give him an alive phone?" And he said, "Well, I'll look into it." And guess what? He looked into it and he gave the man the alive phone. I was so happy that I was able to get Alive to be sympathetic to this man's aspiration. Listen, Alive love me. I'm alive, you alive, and they're a major sponsor. Please don't kill nobody over any broken phone. Now, I don't want you to take advantage of what I'm saying because I have not discussed this with Alive. But I know their motto is to keep everybody alive. So if somebody missing broke your phone and you think that they will kill you, you call me and say, "Listen, I break somebody's phone. You think you could ask Alive to help me stay alive by giving them one small alive phone?" And I'll go to Alive and say, "Alive, I want you to help me to keep my people alive." You think if I get the person to bring the damaged phone, you might give them, not a high-level Alive phone, but a small Alive phone, okay? But I don't want nobody to take advantage of me and approach me in a fraudulent manner. If only they had said to me, "Man, my phone broke," I would have said to Alive, "Alive! Alive! Will you please give my Negro citizen an alive phone?" Oh boy. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. My spiritual advisor, do you have any texts?
Yeah. You want to read some text?
Read some
Because I didn't hear
text.
anybody on the phone just now.
Read some texts.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monka. I'm
Saturday.
sorry I missed you for half hour. The power was off, but thank God you're on it.
Power was off?
No, they're talking about at their house. You was not off, okay? You were not off.
I'm talking about their house.
Their power, yeah. Well, the power went off for half hour, but thank God you're on now. I thought I was going to miss seeing you today, Mr. Monker. We love you from Freeport.
I thank you, Freeport, and I pray that your lights will remain on. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Hey, what's your name, Mr. Monko?
All right, sir. What's happening?
I'm spiritual advisor.
Hey, what's happening?
Hey, Mr. Monko, I was watching a documentary the other day on Netflix about the drug lords, the drug era.
Yes.
And there was a gentleman named Carlos Leader. He was saying that he used to pay the Bahamian government $5 million a month to operate out of Norman Ski.
Okay.
And that was a statement he made back when he was young. And
But
he said
it
he
was
paid
not
the Prime
$5
Minister.
million.
He said he paid the Prime Minister himself $5 million a month.
It's a lie.
Well, you could watch it on Netflix, and they're drug lords, and he's making some serious statements.
Yeah, don't mind him. I have the Commission of Inquiry report, and I attended it.
Escobar backed him up on it too.
Hold on. The only person who wrote a minority report on Pinley was the Lord Bishop of Nassau and the Bahamas, Archbishop Drexel Gomez. All right? I'm going to invite you to go to the government publication office and buy the 1984 Commission of Inquiry report. There is the report and there is a minority report. Sit down and read it, okay? Joe Leader was no good. I regret that the late Basil Dane didn't kick him when he met him at Norman's Key hoisting the Colombian flag. And I can tell you, no matter what you think about Basil Dane, when Basil pulled me on the side of CID and told me what was taking place, and he said Joe Leader had the Colombian flag, I said, Basil, and what did you do? He said, man, I yucked that flag down. Basil Dane told me that.
My uncle told me he saw some government officials coming in on the plane on the airport, and they was partying on Norman's Key, and they was collecting briefcase full of money. So I mean, I don't know who to believe.
Well, I'm going to suggest that you look and read the and it's cheap. The Commission of Inquiry report is under $10. Go get it quickly before the F&M put up the price. And then
right on Netflix, so you could watch it yourself. And then drug
I've seen it.
Talking about
I've seen it. I've seen the documentary.
There's nothing to
saw it,
Joe
right,
Leader.
Special
Yeah,
Advisor?
I saw it. Yeah.
Listen to me.
Right. So I don't know what he's saying this for, but it ain't true.
Man, listen to me. He's a gangster. Read the Commission of Inquiry report, and then we can talk again. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Do well, my brother.
All right,
Joe
brother.
Leader is a no-good dog, bringing all that cocaine into this country.
So who allowed him?
All right?
Who allowed him to bring it in?
Who you thought allowed him to bring it in?
He was working with the government.
That is not true.
He was working with the
He was
government.
not working with the government.
He was working with two governments, the United States government and the Bahamian government.
Listen to me. Read the 1984 Commission of Inquiry and all the people
Yeah,
who was
and
working.
whatever came out of
Oh
the Commission of
Lord,
Inquiry.
God bless my soul. Read the 1984 Commission of Inquiry. And once you would have read it, you and I will discuss it. We're not going to listen to Joe Leader.
How did he get on Norman's Key?
It's a long
He
story.
sees it?
Listen to me.
He sees the island A.
It's a long story.
Without the government even knowing.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm asking you, how
I'm
did he
covering
get...
up. Now you want to force me to uncover? You want to force me?
Yeah, speak the truth. How did he get...
It has nothing to do with speaking the truth. I don't want to do it. The late Kendall G.L. Isaac was his attorney who did a conveyance. And in order to ensure that Joe Leader paid the minimum stamp, right? The 10 acres was done in 10 conveyance. I don't want to get into that because I want to have good memories of Kendall Isaac, because he defended me in the Supreme Court, him and his niece, Janie Thompson. They defended me and Philip Miller when Pinling and the PLP charged us with sedition. Right? So if you hear me, it isn't that I'm being dishonest. I don't want to say some things at this stage. I want you to read it.
Okay.
All right? Those persons who had any association with Joe Leader is in the 1984 Commission of Inquiry.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
And I attended.
Fair enough.
Listen to me. And I attended the meetings. I know things that nobody else know. Hello.
We'll leave that one right there.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Munker.
Good afternoon, my love.
And good afternoon, spiritual advisor.
Yes, good afternoon. How are you?
Fine, dear. I'd like to get your cell phone number.
544-2257. It's my son number.
554?
No. 544.
Okay.
2257.
Yes.
57.
Okay, 57.
Yeah,
Okay, and Mr.
544-2257.
Munker,
Yes.
I'd like for you to send a birthday greeting to my grandnephew, a very, very special young man, and that's Latrey Ramming.
Latrey, birthday is today?
Yes, Latrey's birthday is today.
Latrey Ramming. I knew him when he was about 16.
Yes, and also I want to send congratulations out to my grandson, Toriano Young. He received a certificate today at Galvantines on the honor roll. He's in grade 3.
Wow.
And it's from his grandmother, and the tray is from your grand aunt.
Wow,
Brenda.
this is powerful.
Trey, enjoy your day, and Toriano Young, just keep up the good work. You'll be on the principal list soon.
This is powerful.
Yes, you all have a nice evening.
You do the same.
Toriano Young, you heard your grandmother. She's proud of you. I'm proud of you. And we salute you. As for Latrey Ramming, listen, you're getting old. I remember when you were 16, but that must have been at least 10 years ago. Maybe 16 years ago. But happy birthday. How's that? I have somebody on the phone, you said?
Yes.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Senator Munker.
God save the Queen, my
And
dear.
good afternoon to spiritual advisor.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I would like, Mr. Munker, for you to send a special belated birthday greetings out to me. My birthday was yesterday.
Oh, happy birthday.
And
Belated
I am
birthday.
the lady who sang to you on your birthday
Oh,
and
Jesus.
presented you with your certificate.
Wow.
It was you.
So I would like you to send a shout out to me. Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.
I thank you, my dear. I remember when you sang to me on my 60th birthday. I was so full of joy. So I must, in turn, sing to you. My charming one of the woman there. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Man, it's powerful.
There you go, Senator.
If you were nearby,
Beautiful
I would have
rendition.
given you a sugary kiss because I am the woman named Sugar. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello. Well, I don't hear the person.
Yeah, they're there now.
Okay, speak to me.
Hello, Mr. Munker.
My love.
I'm calling for you to send a shout out to my grandson. Happy birthday to Latrey Ramming from his grandmother,
How much
Eleanor.
grandma this man got? He got 2 grandma. Well, I'll do it. Latrey Ramming,
Yes, sir. Very special young man.
your second grandmother is now calling to wish you a happy birthday.
No, the real grandmother, the real grandmother.
The real grandmother is calling you. Did Latrey taught you any Chinese word?
Eleanor.
Eleanor, did he teach you how to say anything in Chinese?
Yes, he can talk. No, I cannot say nothing in China.
Well, I'm going to teach you something. Whenever he gets you mad, say Ching Wang 42. Try that. Hello? You're not going to case him.
Okay, Mr. Munker.
Happy birthday, Latrey, from your grandmother, the real one, Eleanor. How that song, my love?
Thank you, Mr. Munker.
God bless you. Mwah.
God bless you, too.
Okay, that's one of the woman them. Man is powerful. Hello, welcome.
Hi, Mr. Munker. How you doing?
Listen, I am fine. How are you?
Man, I need one of my live phone too.
Listen, only
That's a problem
if
right
you
there.
miss and broke somebody on.
No, I could break one and I could come there.
Oh no, this one is to keep you alive.
Yeah, I want to be alive.
Oh, well, this is powerful.
Anyhow, Mr. Munker.
Yes.
No, I call you tomorrow.
Call me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Do well, my love.
I call between the before you come back on the show.
You call me.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Hello,
Okay.
welcome to Freedom March. Hello. Speak to me.
Hello,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Munker.
My love.
What's going on?
Listen,
What's
listen.
going on now?
Listen, I am a sugary, as the woman them could Sugar.
Hi, spiritual advisor.
Good afternoon. How you doing?
You seem,
I'm wonderful. You and Mr. Monka joking.
you seem to be so happy today. Why are you so
Are you happy every day, Mr. Monka?
This is powerful.
I coming to look for you tomorrow home.
Well, listen, you're free to come, and I'm accepting love offerings, okay?
Okay, Di, no problem.
Okay. This is
All
powerful.
right.
Man, if I knew, I have to tell the public this. Listen, Saturday before last, I was working the taxi line. And lo and behold, a senior woman saw me and she declared that she was one of the woman them. I said, if you are one of the woman them, would you please give me a hug? And she did. 5 minutes later, another woman appeared and she said, listen, I'm in this store and I want to speak to you before you leave. It was in a twinkling of an eye that the Spirit said to me, go now in the store. And when I walked in, the woman declared that she was one of the woman them. She said, you are our leader. And I'm so happy that you are the leader of the woman them. But I saw something on television which greatly disturbs me. So I said, my dear, what sin have I committed? She said, where is your wallet? And I took out my wallet. It was raggy. She says, leader of the woman them, you shouldn't have that kind of wallet. I said, but this is the only wallet. And when I look, behold, the woman gave me this wallet. You hear me? And I said, but this is real leather. She said, the leader of the woman them must have a good wallet. And I thanked her, put the empty wallet in my back pocket and went back on the taxi line. And 2 miracles take place after that. Another woman was passing accompanied by a man. And when she saw me, she hollered, Lord, look her, my leader. I didn't know the woman. I said, woman, behold your leader. And she dropped me. But she was in the company of a man, a serious looking man. And I turned to him and I said, listen, I'm the leader of the woman dam. He said, Monka, you're the leader of the woman dam, and I'm going to give you a donation. And I couldn't figure out what this was. He took out $50 and he said, as leader of the woman and the great job you're doing, this $50 is for you. And I took out my brand new wallet and I put the $50 in. Isn't God great? Lord, I thank you for the thousands of women that I'm leading. And if I knew that organizing the woman would have been so successful and blessing, I would have done it 30 years ago. But I shall continue to fight for the women, and I shall continue to encourage the woman to submit to the man. If it's a good man, no good man, we get rid of him. And as of today, I declare to all the man I demand faithfulness. And any woman who report any man for being unfaithful, we're going to expel them from our group. How does that sound, my spiritual advisor?
I guess whatever.
Goodness me, you sound like you don't want to be faithful.
Whatever.
Read me text.
Whatever.
Read me text.
Let me see. Here we go, Mr.
Read me text, my spiritual advisor. Read me text.
The number to call, somebody just tried to reach you on the text line.
Give them.
323-7775 if you want to reach Mr. Monka, okay? 323-7775. Mr. Monka, can you please ask Mr. Diagla if he can improve on the water set at one of his locations?
Okay. I'll talk to Cousin Diagla later. All right? Go ahead.
Mr. Monka, it seems as if you may be upset that the Prime Minister has picked Travis over you. Go to Fish Fry and chill out.
Goodness me.
I don't know.
Listen.
I don't know where that text came from.
I'm not jealous of Travis. I want Travis to do his work. He's a young man. He's leader of the people them in Bainstang and Grandstang. Just do his work. I'm not jealous of Travis. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Spiritual advisor, young man, want easy money. The Bible says men will become lovers of themselves. How do we fix this, Mr. Monica? Hard work from old time. Bahamians were the order of the day. What is changing in this country, and can it be fixed?
It's poor leadership. Poor Negro leadership. That's what it is. Okay? That's what it is. Poor leadership.
Mr. Monica, what about bullying in the schools? Is anything being done about children being bullied in school?
I've received no reports of bullying. And then, of course, if your child should report it, you can talk to the school. And if you're not satisfied, well, there's social services and there is the rule of law. But with children, you always try to see how amicably, how friendly can you work these things out. So we have to constantly strive towards socializing our
Young
children.
people, yeah, absolutely.
All right? Go ahead.
Mr. Monica, could you please give a shout out to my son, Laval Davis? He got married on Friday
Really?
to the beautiful Saran Forbes.
Laval Davis. Blessed is a man who takes on a wife. What is the name of the wife?
Her name is Saran Forbes.
Saran Forbes.
Well, she's now Davis,
is the woman who carry her husband's surname and submit. I want you to cook his food, wash his clothes, and give him plenty children. And Brother Davis, you must love this woman and be respectful to her. Okay? And you make sure you keep your mouth out of your business. And Sister Davis, you do likewise. All right? And I wish you all great success. Marriage is not an experimentation. And may you two remain together until death separates you. And you are to abandon both your parents and come together quickly and become one. Lord, I thank you that there are thousands of young people who have decided they will not shack up and that they will get married in accordance with God's holy ordinance. And Miss Davis, you make sure you tell Carl Bethel that there will be no rape in your marriage or cas de Jacques. Go ahead.
There's a call coming in from Grand Bahama.
What is Grand Bahama saying?
We can't get the call here. The number to call, Mr. Monica, if you're calling from Grand Bahama, is that's 300-300. That's a toll-free number, 300-0045. Call Mr. Monica on that number, okay? 300-0045. Mr. Monica, do you know a man by the name of Steve Wynn who's buying the Grand Bahama Casino?
Stephen, I've never heard about that Negro before.
But they have
What about him?
they have an allegation here. We can't do this though.
Well, don't do anything to cause people to sue me, okay?
Yeah, we can't do that.
Okay, I'll read the allegation afterward.
Mr. Monica, I'm one of the women them. My name is wow.
Go ahead, my spiritual
Sorry.
eyes.
Mr. Monica, one of the women them, Deidre Hanna, passed away and
Oh,
is
Lord.
being buried on Sunday at 12 noon at Hillview Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Deidre Hanna. To Miss Deidre Hanna's family, please have my greatest sympathies. We are saddened over the passage of a loved one. Please have our sympathies.
Let's see here. Okay, that's it.
That's it? No more
Wait, hold,
Jack?
just one more. Good afternoon, Mr. Monica and advisor. Ministers, we have a serious problem in North Eleuthera. Our water is rusty, Mr. Monica.
Really?
And it's really bad. Who can help us solve this issue?
Well, first of all, who is your MP? Fax him and send me another text, okay? Adrian Gibson is the minister responsible for the Water and Sewage Corporation. Look in the telephone book and give him a call. All right? Because the people of Eleuthera should not be treated poorly, should not be treated in that regard. Because what time is it? It's the people's time. All right? I'm so sorry that you're still getting rusty water. But knowing the F&M, they would want to blame it on the PLP. Any more text, my spiritual advisor?
Let me see. I think I saw one more
saw one?
text here. Oh no, that's it. That's it.
That's all the
That's
text?
all the. That's all the text for today.
Really?
They say Miss Mackey is the MP or Mr. Mackey. Who's that?
Mr. Mackey is the MP?
Yeah.
I can't think of a Mackey. I am a woman
Oh,
who
yeah,
agree with
yeah,
you.
yeah.
I'm educating my daughters on this. Good day, Mr. Monker. I'm with you 200%. Carl Vettel is a demon. We send that spirit back to hell in Jesus' name. I'm a woman who agree with you. I'm educating my daughter.
Ricky
Lord-
Mackey.
Oh,
You
Ricky
forget him,
Mackey.
yeah.
Okay. Lord Jesus, I thank you that there are thousands of Bahamian women who are standing up and who will reject gender equality and rape in marriage. I am continuously convinced that this is the works of the devil, and we must continue to resist them. Don't mind what they say. Your husband, you must submit to him. All right? Don't mind Carl Bettel. Remember what I told you. Don't mind he went to London to be educated. Don't mind he's London trained. Don't mind Carl got curly hair. Don't mind that. Don't mind Carl got color. Carl is on the wrong track, and we have to turn him back. Tomorrow, we look at some other issues, because there are one or two things that I have to tell you about the rule of law and how the law is not being respected by government institution. I'm going to give you a story about the Princess Margaret Hospital and how the Princess Margaret Hospital is hiding a man that a judge, a magistrate, wants in his court. I'll tell you about it because we should respect the court, and the hospital is wrong. I'll talk about it tomorrow. I think I have a summons in my present. Take good care. Be safe. We'll talk tomorrow.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.